Watson, Caio da Silva, Adam Malikos, and Hugo Guerra.
And we are underway here. The Great Danes, as we mentioned, they're wearing the road purples with white numerals and gold trim, are attacking left to right. The Bears in the home whites working the ball right to left. On a pretty nice afternoon, that ball played through quickly. Swamley well off his line. Will Crane turns it over to Mims on the right side, and Mims will push it ahead to John Vrablik. Joseph Lee in the midfield for Perez. Perez has Schiller on the left flank. Can he catch up to it? He will. Schiller on the left side, crosses it back in front, looking for Rodrigo. Ball knocked down, and Shane Devine will push it away to Hugo Guerra. Guerra with a touch stuck by Schiller, and it will be a Great Dane throw. Bears have won identical 2-1 decisions to start the season. They trailed Bryant late in their season opener, scored twice in the final 10 minutes to win that one in regulation. Needed a Rodrigo strike in the 93rd minute to down George Washington here on Friday night. Of note, the game time temperatures in the 60s. A little bit of a breeze that swirled. We've seen it go both ways this afternoon. But overall, a pretty pleasant afternoon, and now into evening. And with the clouds, the sun will not become as much of a factor as it ought to sometimes here on the east side of Providence, particularly in the first half of a late afternoon game. Shane Devine, the sophomore, turning it ahead for Da Silva. He'll work out to the right side for Solabarrieta. From the right side corner, the Santiago, Chile native, one of 9 nations on the roster for the Great Danes, will touch back for Condi, and he'll play all the way back to Iafrate. Iafrate out of Italy will go all the way back to his goaltender from Long Island, and now Adam Malikos out of Canada. So a lot of different styles, Mike. We've seen that at times become challenging for some programs, but of course, over the last couple of years, the Great Danes have been very successful.
Yeah, certainly a very international flavor to this year's edition of the Great Danes, as it was last year, in which they had so much success, 14-5-3, 4-2-1 in America East last year, as you mentioned earlier, beating Maryland in the opening round of the NCAA tournament before falling to Western Michigan, but returning a lot of players. However, they did lose some of their top players in forward Alfonso Pinero and defender Jeff Medina, two of the best in the conference last year in those two positions.
America East, a power conference really a year ago in soccer. North, in addition to the Great Danes, New Hampshire spent most of the year ranked in the top 25, and so was UMass Lowell at one point. So you start talking 2 or 3 power teams at or in that top 25. It's certainly a very good league. It's Crane with the stick. The ball pushed ahead over the head of Da Silva. Looping back as the Brown co-captain Gabe Welp up off the head of Perez. He feeds Lee. Lee couldn't settle. Crutzen on Lee's back. He'll go back for Welp, and Welp flashes out to the right side square for Will Mims. Mims for Toby Howell. The Bears love to get him going. He plays to center for Perez. Gets it back on the 1-2, and here comes Brown. Howell tried to chip it through. It ends up on the foot of Rodrigo. He turns to his right, delivers to Mims, who'd attacked all the way up. Edge of the box, continues to work his way in, was slowed up by Gino Rossi, and it'll be a goal kick.
It's going to take a little bit more to get that call as Rossi sending him down to the turf. But not a bad bid for the Bears. They've had a couple of chances inside the 18 already here in the opening 4 minutes.
No score, no shots, as it's played for Iafrate, the sophomore from Avezzano, Italy. Off to that far side for Rossi. Tried to turn towards center. It was stuck by Howell. Ball thrown in. Mims tracking back. Lee ahead for Vrablik with a touch for Rodrigo. He looks to turn to his left. Schiller open on the flank. Schiller with a goal in each of the first 2 matches, including the game winner against Bryant, to center. Comes away with the loose ball. Pushes it to center. Rodrigo to his right foot. Couldn't quite pull the trigger. Stuck by the D. Back for Lee. Out for Rodrigo on the right side. He wants to switch. We'll use Jackson Goebel on the left side. The Houston native ahead for Schiller. Schiller trying to dance his way around Reed Condi, and will push it back to Crane. Nice job by the Albany defense to settle back. All the way in, it comes for Howell, trying to leverage his way in. There'll be a foul as he went shoulder to shoulder with Rossi, the grad student from Schenectady, kind of a hometown product for the Great Danes.
Absolutely. And as you were talking about Howell earlier, someone that the Bears are desperately trying to get working. Last year, their leading scorer came in as a transfer from Marquette, 5 goals and 2 assists. And when he scored, they certainly seemed to win a lot. 4 game-winning goals last year for Howell.
Great ball pushed upfield for Crutzen, and he turns and sends that one into the netting. Didn't have really much of an angle as the freshman Crane was there. We're about 5 minutes in, a little more than 5 minutes in here from Stevenson-Pinson's Field on the east side of Providence. For Mike Mancuso, our entire outstanding Nesson team, my name is Mike Rubin. Thanks for making us part of your late Sunday afternoon. As James Swamley, the Newton Mass product, sends that one up and over the top of Howell on that far side. It's going to be a Brown throw headed out of bounds by Nico Solabarrieta, the leading scorer currently for the Great Danes. The quick throw in came for Rodrigo, dances his way through, and then it popped off his knee. Will run for a goal kick.
Well, it took about 3 fortuitous bounces for Rodrigo to make it into the 18, but the last touch, a tough one, as it deflected off his knee and over the end line.
Since the Great Danes defeated Harvard 3-2 in overtime, for their second win of the season, they've lost identical 1-0 decisions. Their loss to St. Bonaventure back on September 3rd, almost a calendar year since their last home loss. They've been a very tough out over the last 365 days, have the Great Danes been. In fact, over the last couple of years, 27 victories, as we mentioned up top. Here's Crutzen in the middle. The entry pass is behind Caio da Silva. And it runs for a goal kick the other way. No history between these two programs. Brown playing Albany for the first time ever. Second game in as many matches that the Bears have playing against the team for the first time. They'd never played George Washington. And in fact, Friday's game between Albany and Providence was their first game ever.
Yeah, kind of strange considering there's not much geographical separation between the schools. Albany, maybe 4.5 hours from here?
At tops, yeah. Depends on how much traffic you hit on the pike. As the ball is turned to Daniel Crutzen, there'll be a foul behind the play. No advantage called as down went Caio da Silva. And it'll be a restart for the Great Danes in a fairly difficult spot. We'll see what they bring. They do have some height. We mentioned da Silva. He's 6'4". They also have Clark at 6'3", looming around the top of the 18. That one served in. It's knocked down by Clark. Hit off a foot. It's going to be goal kick. Everybody put their arms up saying it went off the other, but it's going to be a goal kick in the end.
Well, you might as well, especially if you could get that corner kick if you're Albany. The Bears catch a mini break there as it did seem to deflect off a Great Dane.
James Swamley. First freshman tender to play some minutes for the Bears in a couple of years, as the Bears have had some experience with Joey Sapicchio last year graduating. Played every minute for Brown between the pipes in the 2017 campaign. Welp, Howell, and that ball pushed up. Vrablic's going to run on it. Vidiello well out of the box. Curls that one back to center. Perez, chest trap. Vidiello getting back into goal. And, kind of one of those, kind of like you see in hockey sometimes when the goalie's out of the net, you try and send it all the way down. Or when the goalie's pulled in lacrosse, we see sometimes. But telegraphed a bit and well wide.
And not a bad bit if you can get it on target. But unfortunately for the Bears that time, Perez way too far off the target.
There's Malakos from Ottawa, Canada. We mentioned Belgium, as well as Italy and Chile in the starting lineup. Also players on this team from Iceland and Cyprus, as well as Mexico.
And New Zealand as well.
And then a host of players from both Long Island and that greater Albany area.
And they do have a Brazilian too, so
a lot of different styles. Vidiello, the goaltenders from Massapequa down on Long Island. Here's Crutzen, cuts back on Joseph Lee, drives a shot and scores! Crutzen cut back on Lee, and a scoreless streak for the Great Danes is over, bounces it past Swamley, and a quick strike for the Great Danes. A 10th-minute goal, and they're up 1-0.
What a brilliant strike there from Crutzen, but I don't know what was more impressive. The initial move to get the defender moving the wrong way in the cutback, and then the shot into the corner. Crutzen putting Albany up 1-0 on his first goal of the season.
Not really much that the big reach of James Swamley could do on that one. We'll get another look at it. Just a great strike. So the Bears will play from behind. It's a situation they were in against Bryant, albeit not this early in the match. Lee on the right side for Mims. Trying to chase back is Rossi. And that'll be a foul on the Bears' Toby Howell. He's going to get a stern talking to from the official.
Yeah, he wasn't very close to playing the ball that time and just took a little whack at Nico Solabarrieta. Easy call for the official and the stern talking to as well. He'll have to watch out, as I believe that's his second foul of the game, too.
Second, the center referee, Matt Stein, today. On the right side, Howell heading it back for Mims. They play a little passing game on that far side for Vrablik across the midfield stripe. The touch comes to center. Crutzen will go all the way back. Vrablik will put it under a bit. Vitiello sends it away toward midfield. Mims lines up underneath it, gets ahead. Second ball, Perez heads it forward for Howell. Nope, Fradi was able to get there. And now Howell trying to take it away. Fradi will feed Rossi, and the Great Danes will slow things down. Left to right comes Crutzen. He has the first goal of the match for the Great Danes. Again, snaps a 2+ game scoreless streak since their game winner against Harvard. And that one curls in on Swamley, covers it up.
Certainly Albany looking like the more dangerous team in the opening minutes of this match. Doing some nice things to work it from the outside back into the mixer, creating chances.
Lost 1-0 to Providence, who's now won. The Friars have now won back-to-back 1-0 games. They beat George Washington today. Held that high-powered Colonial attack to just 4 shots on goal. Rodrigo, tracked well by Carlos Clark, forced all the way back, has Clark all over him.
Yeah, he's got to get rid of it, though. I mean, you can't keep holding all the way through across the midfield.
Crane, harassed by Da Silva, will play for Welp. Welp will put it on a line, turning it over as it goes right to Rossi, and he'll watch it to the hands of Vitiello.
Yeah, smart little veteran play there by Rossi, the grad student.
So far, the Bears struggling to maintain a lot of shape. The Great Danes doing a good job of putting it where the Bears are not, and vice versa. Measuring it up is Da Silva. Welp on the second ball, trying to bring it back to feet for Rodrigo. He jostles it over to Howell, and now Rodrigo working off the right side. Big kick through by Fradi. Howell back over, trying to feed Rodrigo, and it's swept away by Rossi. It'll be a Brown throw.
It's like Rodrigo a little bit faster than he was in years past. Has a lot more zip out there scooting around the field.
Mims curling that one, wanted to at least, and he mishit it and sends it out to the parking lot. Say it's a mishit is perhaps an understatement.
Not exactly what the Bears were looking for
No.
in that situation, but good to see Mims trying to get involved in the offensive action from that right back spot.
For the Great Danes, they'll play a midweek game, play a game next Saturday, at Quinnipiac before starting league play against Stony Brook in a couple weeks' time. Just a couple of non-league games left on their schedule. They'll play 2 more Ivy League opponents in Dartmouth and Cornell among their slate. And Crane will keep it moving for Goebel. Again, Bears chasing the game, trailing by 1. John Vrablik switches fields for Mims on the right side. He'll work right to left, Will Mims. The Bears attacking in the home whites. Mims continuing to take his space, puts it down to the corner. Howell catches up to it, puts it across for Schiller, heads it up and over the iron. What a setup from Toby Howell across, and Schiller just couldn't snap it down.
Yeah, well, I really like Will Mims taking his space up the right flank, dishing it off at the right time. Almost overshot Howell, but Howell able to turn on the Jets, get to it, cross it in, and then Schiller not missing by much. Thought that the netminder Vidiello might have got a finger on it, but they're going to say no, just strictly right over off the head of Schiller, so it will be a goal kick coming up for the Great Danes.
Bears doing a good job of resetting the point of attack, or reversing the point of attack, as that one will sail. Jackson Goebel doing a good job of shielding Hugo Guerra. Throw in for Schiller. That deflects to Guerra. Schiller for Goebel. And Goebel will keep it on the ground. Rodrigo double-teamed. Fights off a defender. Gets it ahead, but Malikos there for the Great Danes. And De Silva will carry. Gets his way through. Drop back did Rodrigo. Goebel, Crane, De Silva, DeAndrea. Rodrigo trying to switch fields for Howell, and it'll be settled by Rossi.
Yeah, a little bit too optimistic on that pass that time. Easily picked off by Rossi.
Devine comes back across to Guerra, rolls the ball under his foot, looks to center. Finding his way to the ball is senior Carlos Clark. He looks over for Rossi, who again is working off to the far side flank. That's Knutson. Sends one towards center. That one headed to the near side. If it runs, it's a corner kick, but boy, working his tail off there was Jackson Goebel to make a throw out of what would have been a corner. Quickly taken to Conde, and Conde able to again get the turn for a throw. We'll toss it in for Devine. Looking to switch, goes to center for Clark, chased by Perez. Looks forward, Howell steps in front, gets it ahead for Perez. He has a stick of Rossi, and here come the Bears on the counter. Perez slows things down, boots it up to nowhere. Needed to get that wider, and Clark will set back for Crutzen.
I'm sure the Bears are all for switching the point of attack, but he had Will Mims making an overlapping run on his right side, didn't see him, and then tried to find someone on the near side, never made it.
The switch, Goebel will pick up Guerra. Guerra looks to cut back, turns it to his right, drives a shot, and that one just off the fingertips of Swamley. Might have been going wide, but you don't want to take a chance. That was a good-looking shot.
That was a darn good move again inside the box. Watch the cutback this time on Goebel. Sets himself up on the right foot, and I don't know. That was pretty close. Swamley making a very nice save.
Yeah, that might have been going in.
To keep this one at 1-0.
Goal scorer's touch a couple of times so far for the Great Danes, who are threatening to add to a 1-0 lead. It's about 17 minutes in. Corner from the near side struck. Curls in front, and Swamley the save on a nice touch by Reed Conde.
Yeah, Conde nearly picking up the second goal of the game for the Great Danes, but Swamley reading it well. But Bears got to do a better job of getting in front of those Great Danes, especially on those set pieces.
Bears like to attack using Schiller off the left. He'll push it to Perez, who undercuts. Comes to the left side corner. Pushes back to Schiller. He'll work toward the left side. Pushes it across. Looking for Vrablik. Inside position had the defender. And the Bears will have a corner.
Yeah, nice job by Schiller again, making the run on the outside, putting a strong cross into the box. Iafrati, though, able to get ahead on it and knock it out of the way. First corner kick of the game for the Bears coming up from the near side.
Bears have Schiller near side with Toby Howell. They bring up Vrablik and Welp. There's the corner, headed down, bounces out to Schiller. He'll turn back. Howell, the serve, comes in front. Vrablik, the shot, and he was offside.
Yeah, it did seem like a nice job by the Albany defense, pushing up, trying to get everyone up the field and catch the Bears offside. Indeed, they did get Vrablik a couple feet behind the defense.
Vidiello will push it to Iafrati. He'll survey the scene. Bears settling back. Rossi on the far flank sends it upfield. Welp measured it well. Crutzen, he's dangerous. We've already seen him score from beyond this range. Perez following him, gives a little stick at the ball. Stops ball, play on called by the official. He gets it to Lee. Lee to center for Vrablik. Bears trying to counter. Pushes it ahead to Rodrigo. He has Howell on the flank. He'll serve it to him. He'll be picked up by Rossi on the right side. In front, was looking for Vrablik. It'll be set away, and it'll be a Brown throw-in. Quickly, no, Mims had the quick throw, but good job by Rossi to take away that option. Howell again pushing it towards center and knocked away by the Great Danes. De Silva and now Lee out ahead again for Vrablik. The touch comes back to center in close quarters is Guerra and Clark. He'll push left side, and Crutzen will counter. On the left side is Solabarrieta. He carries, centers for Clark. Here comes Schiller, able to take it back for Lee and give the possession back to the Bears. Vrablik one for Rodrigo. Rodrigo looking ahead and able to sneak in front of it. Again was Rossi. Get the ball back to the Great Danes. Rossi now on the left side. Approaches midfield, off on the right. Again, slowing things down as they cross midfield are the Great Danes. Taken away by Schiller as they were trying to measure for Conde. Up ahead it comes over the head of Vrablik, the Bears' biggest target at 6'4" or so. And set ahead by Crutzen to the far flank for Solabarrieta. He's picked up by Mims, the Bears' flank back. Solabarrieta with some good speed, fouls Mims.
Yeah, those two got tangled up on the end line a couple minutes ago, and the referee actually came over and said something to Solabarrieta. Solabarrieta not so happy with that call, but when you give the forearm push to the ground, you're going to get called for it.
Swamley, the Brown goaltender, bested on the first shot on goal of the day for either side as Daniel Crutzen. And offside called that time on Vrablik. I'm not so sure about that one.
Yeah, especially when the ball was played. Seemed like he was already
back reset
in position, but AR thinking otherwise.
Quick restart, short for now Clark on the second touch. Swings it back. Malekos ahead for Guerra. Guerra cutting back on Jackson Goebel. Pushing it, it's a good ball, but Mims goes up. Howell drops all the way back, aways it, set back in by Devine. Crutzen on the left side. Touchback on the right side for Rossi. Tried to overlap, but now back is the ball for Devine, the sophomore from Carmel, New York. We'll see if the Bears can get there and counter. Vrablik in the midfield, a tough touch for Rodrigo. Couldn't connect as Clark was there. And now he has it back from Malekos and will work left to right. Clark, a big boy at 6'3", all of that. He looks awful big.
That's because he is. We saw him in warm-ups as well. Him and De Silva out there. Some good height.
A little shove down on Schiller, who pops back up. And good job by Clark to stand in front of the ball, deny the quick restart. Will Crane for the Bears will step in front of it. See the Bears bring up Welp and Perez. Howell off on that far side. Vrablik and Rodrigo at the top of the 18. Goebel on the left side. And now Schiller jogging across the top of the 18 as well, just outside of your view at home. That one served up by Crane. It hangs up. Vrablik goes up. Ball in the air. Howell trying to get there. And that is going to be a foul called on the Bears. I think De Silva did a good job of lobbying for it.
Yeah, we'll see how quickly he's able to get up.
We'll see. Not a whole lot of contact, but the official judges otherwise. And we're more than halfway through the first half. We'll reset it for you, shall we? Albany leading 1-0 on a Daniel Crutzen goal, the senior striking in the 10th minute, presumably unassisted. For our entire outstanding Nesson crew, my broadcast partner Mike Mancuso, my name's Mike Rubin. First subs of the game are going to check in for Albany, Haflidi Sigurdsson from Reykjavik, Iceland. He'll check in, the first year replacing De Silva. And for the Bears, Toby Howell heads off in favor of freshman Malcolm Johnson, the Wilmington, Delaware product.
And Malcolm Johnson providing some very good minutes against George Washington on Friday night. Certainly a little speedster out there, not afraid to mix it up as well, providing a physical presence when needing.
Did not see action in the season opener against Bryant. Has worked his way into some minutes for Coach Pat Laughlin of the Bears, who a year ago took third in the Ivy League behind Columbia and Dartmouth, both of whom saw postseason play. Good ball. The entry pass comes down. Sigurdsson tried to cross, but will Mims was able to slide it away. Yet a corner kick coming here for the Great Danes.
Yeah, Mims doing it on both ends of the field, getting up involved in the offensive end, and obviously doing it as well.
The quick ball by Knutson. Pushed down to the near side. Guerra chips it ahead, headed away by Welp. Schiller with a touch. The ball off the side of Guerra's foot. A lot of contact. Looked like Clark might have put a hand on it. Out to Malcolm Johnson. He'll push it out to Mims. Immediately picked up by Knutson. He works up, drives a shot.
Not missing by much.
No, that one hit the side of the net. I thought
it had Swamley frozen too.
Yeah.
It had that look of that's in, but fortunately for the Bears, Knutson shot. This time he lines it up with the left foot, just trying to finesse it in, curl it around that near post.
Swamley was frozen right in his spikes. And the Bears
catch a break there. It was a tough outlet pass for Mims. Knutson able to step in, steal it away, and then found himself with plenty of space at the top of the box to work with.
And Sigurdarsson has brought a whole different level of pace. He is quick.
That's what you like to see out of your reserves, have them come in, provide a little bit of a spark.
Perez going up the middle, a hard foul, play on called, and then the advantage.
And that's a tough one because Perez took a pretty wicked shot there in the middle of the field. And yes, there was somewhat of an advantage for the Bears, but boy, did he take a big hit.
Ball ended up in the hands of Vitiello. Referee right there all the way. And did call the play on and then waved it off after the Bears did push the ball through. I don't know that it was exactly a shot, however. And Sigurdarsson working on that far flank, dribbled right out of bounds. He was turned away by Joseph Lee of the Bears. Mims, his throw-in headed down. Sigurdarsson and Mims collide. Coming away with it is Solabarrieta. Solabarrieta takes the 18. What a stick by the Bears captain, Gabe Welp. Comes back out to Knutson, distributes to the right side for Conde. He pushes it across. Mims the header, and Malcolm Johnson will hot foot after it and transition right to left as the Bears look to counter. Has Clark in front of him, loses the ball, and headed back and taken by Vrablik on that far flank. Keeps his heels to the far sideline. Rodrigo off to the flank for Johnson as the Bears keep the possession alive. He's got three purple jerseys around him, and nobody moving for the Bears, and Mims will slow things down. Bears very flat-footed, Mike, as Welp and Mims reconnect. Back to the ball comes Perez, out ahead for Rodrigo.
Certainly feels like the Great Danes have the extra pep in their step here this afternoon, especially in this first half.
Almost seems like the Bears are playing down a man at times as Welp heads it to Perez. Solabarrieta looked like it hit a hand. It did not. His move ahead. Taken away, Mims knocks it out. Vrablik in the midfield. Again, a couple purple jerseys around him, taken by Clark and touched back. Malekos ahead for Clark. And Solabarrieta. Solabarrieta's, you can see his dangerousness. He's very quick coming across with the ball. We've seen him on the flank. We've seen him up top. He's got a presence for the Great Danes for sure.
Yeah, and like most of these Great Danes, he's got great footwork as well and plays a little bit on the edge too. He's a fiery guy out there for them.
Native of Santiago, Chile, a senior. One of the leading returning scorers for the Great Danes. Again, last year, 14-5. Advanced via penalty kicks. The 8th round of penalty kicks, I believe.
Don't touch him!
And it runs for a throw. Changes about. Sam Phillip, the freshman from Christchurch, New Zealand, will check in for Guerra. For the Bears, Rodrigo, Lee, and Vrablik off. Checking on for the Bears, Dennis Pietsu, Zach Anderson, and Derek Wallef. Wallef and Pietsu, a pair of freshmen for Coach Pat Laughlin's Bears. Zach Anderson, the junior, out of Granite Bay, California. One in the air. Pat Laughlin wanted a call. It didn't come. Crane ahead for Wallef. Turns to the near side for Schiller. Wallef working across midfield. Has to make a quick decision because Great Danes are coming with fresh legs with Sam Phillip. Anderson looks to send Pietsu. He hot-foots after it. He's going to be called offside.
Again, looked like he had a good break on the ball. The Albany defense pulling up that line. putting the Bears off sides yet again.
Under 16 to play here. First half ball turned. Here comes Pietsu. Pietsu dancing his way in. Top of the 18. Takes a shot. It was blocked and into the hands of Vitiello.
Yeah, just a little too indecisive that time with Pietsu. Yep. You got to go full bore there. He had Schiller to his left. Let the defender catch up and eventually block the shot.
Malikos, looks like a little slow heading back to his defensive position, but big win in the air by Jackson Goebel. Anderson on the first ball goes all the way back for Swamley. He'll be put under a bit by Crutzen and then sent out. Bounces it in toward Conde. Taken away by Crane, and that's a dangerous foul.
Yep, from behind, taking out the ankle. We've seen that be a cardable offense.
Crane, the freshman from Athens, Georgia. One of a handful of first years from the South that the Bears have on the roster, and yeah, you can see coming from the side.
Yeah, Conde, I think fortunate that time not be booked.
Crane from Athens, Georgia. Pietsu from Dawsonville. The restart over the head of Wallach. Johnson keeping it alive right side. Takes toward the end line. Curls one in front. Headed down and off the hands of Vitiello.
Wow, what a save by the netminder from Massapequa, New York. Vitiello, save of the day so far. Watch it again. Johnson got the cross off. Wallach there and just kind of was able to flick it up with his left arm.
Reflex save. And there'll be a whistle. Be Great Danes on the restart. Referee Matt Stein.
Boy, did the Bears just get robbed of the equalizer.
We've seen
Wallach, an excellent opportunity. He did what he could to get it on frame and certainly did that, but up to the task, Danny Vitiello. Phenomenal save. Had 10 shutouts last year in the 14 victories with the Great Danes.
right side Mims. Bears trying to create for the equalizer. Another foul. This one called on Sigurdarsson.
Mims taking a beating out there at the right back position today. A little bit gimpy after that last hit.
And he was put under a lot of heat on Friday as well. Less than 48-hour turnaround. Goebel ahead for Wallach on the left side. Has Schiller as a drop. Gets it to him. Back out to Wallach on the left side. He curls one in front. Knocked down was Pietsu, and they'll call him for a handball.
Yeah, that was a pretty high kick as well on the defensive side of things. See if we get another look. Wallach, the entry into the box.
Ooh.
I mean, I know he's going for the diving header, but that right foot of Ricardo Iafrate, pretty high up.
Over the head of Clark and Perez. Crane, and now Clark to Solabarrieta. Solabarrieta on the right side, picked up by Crane, who held his ground. Subs coming in, a couple for the Great Danes, as Brandon Mimas and it looks like Ignacio Salas. Iafrate will check off, so too will Solabarrieta. So again, now entirely new front line, if you will, for the Great Danes. And they make a change in back, which you don't see too often at the college level. But Iafrate looks...
We've seen him beaten a couple of times, and perhaps that's what Coach Trevor Gorman's going to go over with him. Positionally, he's had a couple of challenges that just didn't quite work out for him.
Schiller working up the left side, leaves it for Pietsu. Pietsu off the foot of Clark, who did a good job of checking back to the ball. Goebel will throw it in for the Bears. Needs somebody to show to him. Wallach out there. It looks like he's the desired target. Pietsu on his horse. Salas knocks it away. Lining up Crane with a head. Ball sails up over the head of Anderson, who gives up a few inches to Crutzen. Brought back to feet by Sam Phillip. First time we've called his name since he's checked in, and Crutzen will go all the way back. Devine for Clark. And again, Crutzen looking to switch fields. Off on the left side for Rossi. Johnson picking him up. Perez picks up Crutzen, who has the lone goal of this one. It came very early on, 10th minute, in fact. On the double, it's sent back again. Devine To the middle of the field, Malikos. Dribbling through came Brandon Mimas. And again, a long possession here for the Great Danes. Continue to work here, Sigurdarsson. Good ball for Clark, has some room. Good patience here from the Great Danes. Bears chasing a little bit. Sigurdarsson back, winding up, cut back. Rossi feeds it ahead. Good footwork toward the top of the 18. Malikos comes back to the right for Phillip. The Bears got to try and get the ball back, and there's going to be a foul called on Phillip as Danny Schiller was able to step in front.
Yeah, I think that was almost 15, 16 passes there by the Great Danes, who, we mentioned it earlier, it almost feels like they have a man advantage out there, the way they move off the ball and find themselves in good spots to receive passes. Bears got to find a way to shut down some of those passing lanes.
If you were wondering if the Great Danes would miss anything, making 5 or 6 changes here, certainly not. Couple changes still to come as Ryan Lancaffel will check in for the Great Danes. He replaces Crutzen, who again had the goal, and Mims will check off, replaced by Justin O'Brien. Again, Mims has been under a lot of duress on that right side.
Yeah, certainly has. They've been trying to work it down that side, and not only under duress, but has taken a lot of big hits as well.
The good news for the Bears is O'Brien, an experienced defender for sure, and sort of a utility man who can play a couple of different positions. We've seen him in the interior and flank of both the defensive midfield and back line. Ball played up. Anderson, the header tracking back, settled by Sigurdarsson. Great-looking shot, and that had Swamley beat, curling wide.
Yeah, that one just bending a little bit too far, that far post, but another good opportunity for the Great Danes. But again, look, plenty of space there for the Great Danes to get the shot off.
That didn't miss by much.
And this one could easily be in the 2-3, even 4-0 range right now for Albany. He continues to put the pressure on the Bears. Now it's shooting them 7-4.
Shots on goal reads 3-2, but
A run of play, though, certainly.
Yeah, exactly.
Has been with Albany.
Up the left side comes Lancaffel and sent away by Welp. As we're into that final few minutes here of the first half. Bears trailing 1-0. It would appear that the Great Danes lining up for a long throw, which we have not really seen as of yet. Rossi sends that one in. Clark had it bounce. Sigurdarsson was there. The turn and knocked away by Goebel. Another drive deflected off of Wallef. It'll be a throw-in for the Great Danes. Conde, the junior from Manchester, Vermont, surveys the scene. Schiller showing 2. Tossed in toward the end line. Clark put across. Welp can't get there. O'Brien's first touch. Sends it away. Burst of speed from Johnson. Gets out to midfield and just ran out of room.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Johnson can really flash some speed out there when needed, and he's going to go full tilt. Fearless player out there in his first season out of Wilmington, Delaware.
Shane Devine pushing it back. Salas will go all the way back to the goaltender Vitiello, who, again, if not for a save on his end on a Derek Wallef header, we'd have an even 1-1 match right now. Under 7 minutes to play here now in the first half. 1-0 Great Danes. That one sent up off the head of Goebel, which ends up finding Sigurdarsson. He's in front of Perez. It takes a shot wide. Didn't have a lot of room to work with Perez on his left, but Sigurdarsson made something out of nothing.
Yeah, nearly got another goal for the Great Danes. Another change for the Bears. Coming in, number 28, Matt Rytel. It's the first minutes of his career at Brown. Junior out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Ball sent up the near sideline, and it'll run for a Brown throw. Rytel, a transfer from Lafayette. Near side. Ball turned to Sam Phillip on the right side. Little heel pass.
Whoa.
What a pretty move. And he's fouled by Crane. And
We're going to have to see that one again on the replay. What a move there by Sam Phillip.
Crane going in the
you
books.
missed the end of the cutback. That was a pulled jersey and foul, but I still don't even know the physics behind that play. He hit it with the back of his heel, and it curled around in front of him. Watch this. Well,
let's see.
Gonna just miss it there. There's another
look at the foul.
Look at the foul that got booked, but man, what a move. Full speed, too.
Looked like a young Mike Mancuso there.
Full speed, hit it with his heel. It curled around in front of him, around the defender. That was magical.
This were a game of horse.
And that is a pretty hefty 10 yards.
That is a hefty 10. Good spot for a restart from the near side. Sigurdarsson will take it. Clock stopped inside 6. Ball chipped across. Pietsu and O'Brien collide, and that one sent up and over the top by Clark. There'll be a goal kick coming out from James Swamley. That's already the second card of the season on Will Crane.
Yep. Picked up one in the last game.
I believe so.
That one he almost had no chance. I think he was still just mystified as how that ball got around him. Was just like, what? Had to reach out and grab the old jersey.
Pietsu on the right side. He'll come all the way back to Vitiello, and he'll line up and send it away for a throw-in for the Bears. Pietsu's feet had O'Brien, gives it to him. Trying to work his way around Lancaster, and does. O'Brien continuing to take his space. Puts that one across. Schiller trying to pick it up. Wallach on the near side. Lets it run to his right. Touches back for Goebel. Goebel cleans it. Puts it curling toward Vitiello and over the net.
Yeah, not a bad bid there from Goebel, but needed that one to come out just a little bit more, maybe towards the top of the 6 to give one of his teammates a chance to get to it, but he was put under pressure well there by the Great Danes.
Vitiello taking some time here to put this one back into play. And the Great Danes in the midst of a very tough stretch of their schedule, playing 7 of 8 on the road. Pietsu putting Vitiello under pressure. That one over the head of Reitel. Here's Welp. Up goes Anderson, Reitel, and Wallef. And Reitel has his first touch of his career. Gets it back Welp for Swamley. First touch of his career at Brown, I should say. And now here's Crane for Goebel left side. Pushes the pass ahead over the head of Wallef. Get ahead on it, I should say, to Schiller, setting him up. And ouch, that one off the face of Malakos. Goebel.
Yep, Goebel will come up to try to get this one into the box. And will they go quick and short this time?
Schiller for Goebel. He'll look to take to the left. Around Malakos, great ball. Sailing on Johnson. O'Brien and Reitel there. No foul as he just got tangled.
He got run over.
Yep. And back the other way came
Now, great battling there by O'Brien.
Against Leo Gama. Gama, the freshman from Salvador, Brazil, had checked in a couple of moments ago. Schiller will leave it for Goebel. Bears trying to notch the equalizer before half. Wallef and Pietsu running off the ball. They'll toss it in for Anderson. Good stick there by Clark, and that's going to be
Well, it was a tough return pass. Anderson trying to go right back to Goebel, but nothing he really do.
Not with 3
Heels
purples
on the sideline and 3 guys charging at him.
Tough touch there by Conde. Up goes Goebel. And that's going to be another Albany throw, much to the dismay of Jackson Goebel. Goebel now marking, I think, Phillip. As a throw-in comes for Clark, and that runs off the side of the foot of Zach Anderson. Another throw coming for the Great Danes. Reed Conde to throw it in. Conde looking around over the head of Schiller to Clark. Picked up on the double. Conde right side, back to Clark, who works back towards center. The touchback for Shane Devine. Swamley coming off his line, calls off Gabe Welp and owns the box.
Good communication there by Swamley coming off his line, making sure Welp didn't try to head it away.
Swamley sending that one up to Derek Wallach. Chested it down for Rytel. Crane with a head. Anderson going up, squished between a couple of Great Danes. Crane has to go to Rytel as Swamley a little late coming off his line.
Well, it just didn't seem to have enough pace to really get into the 18 either, but a little bit dangerous there between Crane and Swamley.
O'Brien curling one. Wallach goes up. One in the air by the Great Danes, and Clark comes away with it after the touch from Malakos. Step into it does Goebel, ahead for Danny Schiller. Schiller one touch trying to get through Clark. Wallach steps over, tries to help out. He'll walk through, looks back towards center. Switching fields, looking for Johnson. Can he keep it in? He does. Top of the box. Turned aside by Gama. And off his line comes Vidiello.
Slick footwork that time by Wallach to get the cross over to Johnson. Johnson doing a nice job finding that ball, but just unable to release the shot.
15 seconds left here in the first half. Ball sent upfield. Goebel, the header, and that will about take us into the half. So a 10th minute goal from the slick footwork of senior Daniel Crutzen. The only goal of this one so far. The Great Danes will take a 1-0 lead into the half over the Brown Bears. Will step aside. Anderson, Joseph Lee, Justin O'Brien, Gabe Welp, Will Crane, Jackson Goebel, along with the goaltender James Swamley for the Bears. For the Great Danes, it would appear that their starting 11 is back on, I believe, with the exception of Sam Phillip. And so it's 9 of the 11. Haflidi Sigurdarsson also remains in the match for the Great Danes. But Solabarrieta is back on, as is Iafrati. And that's Clark with the touch back for Solabarrieta. Frees it up right side for Phillip. Phillip looking to turn on Jackson Goebel. Sends that one up and over the top, and a goal kick coming out. Crutzen back on for the Great Danes as well, as Ignacio Salas and Brandon Mimas and Ryan Lankafel, who came off the bench, are back on the bench for head coach Trevor Gorman. His Great Danes trying to even out their record at 3-3 and snap a losing streak that was identical 1-0 defeats at the hands of St. Bonaventure at home and then Providence College on Friday night. When settled down by Solabarrieta, looked like it hit off his bicep. Joseph Lee turns it to Justin O'Brien, who replaced Mims late in the first half. Mims playing all but the last 11 minutes of the first half. Dennis Pietzu, great stick by Iafrati, came away with the ball.
Got a little lucky. It's just enough of a touch on it to have Pietzu step on it, breaking his stride.
Welp from Lee, and now Crane, bottom of the kickoff circle, will switch over to Jackson Goebel. Goebel taking his space on the far sideline. Anderson stuck back. It finds Goebel's foot. He'll continue to take his space, working down toward the end line, and a goal kick as he crashed through Caio Da Silva.
Yeah, kind of landed right on top of Da Silva as well, as Da Silva kind of came in, tried to cut off Goebel. Paid the price for it for sure. Goebel, a guy you don't want to run into or get run into by.
Da Silva, a big boy at 6'4", playing in back. He started up top. They almost like they've reversed. He reversed his position with Clark, who's now up top. We saw Clark kind of on both sides of the ball in the first half. flank back on the first half was Reed Conde, and he's not on the field. So that's the switch from Coach Gorman as well. A little bit of a different look, for sure, from the Great Danes. Iafrate took that throw with his right leg well off the turf. Nobody was paying attention, and it'll be an indirect foul called on the Bears. You saw his foot go?
It certainly seemed that way.
Yeah, okay.
Just a little Italian flair, let's say.
Iafrate from Avezzano, Italy. Ball quickly played in. Ball stuck by Crane.
The Bears got to realize that Crutzen could definitely put it in from that range. Can't give him that kind of space right at the top of the box in that 22 to 25-yard range. Made them pay the price earlier on in the 10th minute. Nearly did again there, but fortunately Welp able to get in front of that one.
Anderson turned it over, was looking for Lee. Solabarrieta couldn't handle it, and Welp will touch back for Swamley. He's got Solabarrieta coming.
Oh, that's got to be a one-touch out by Swamley.
Yeah,
you don't have time to mess around. Solabarrieta way too quick.
Sigurdarsson and Howell putting his man under. Comes all the way back for Vitiello. Lee trying to measure it up with Sigurdarsson, who wins it in the air. Goebel will settle it down. Up across midfield, taken back by Shane Devine. Again, the Great Danes just finding their way to the ball a little better than the Bears in the opening minutes of this second half. Keeping their foot on the throttle. Out ahead it comes for Pietsu. Touch back for Howell. Again, Sigurdarsson immediately falling back.
And there's a classic example of the Bears just kind of flat-footed, waiting for the ball rather than moving to an open space and finding themselves available to receive, which we've seen Albany do a much better job. Their off-ball movement has been one of the major differences in this game.
Iafrate back to Devine, and now on the right side, working up the flank comes Sam Phillip, the first year from New Zealand. Back for Sigurdarsson, his classmate. And up gets Sigurdarsson as he had lost his footing there with Howell. Crutzen ahead for Clark. Taking his space against Crane. The touchback out to Phillip. And he'll go back for Devine. He'll put it across. O'Brien hot-footing after it. Good burst of speed from Solabarrieta. He keeps it alive, but it'll be a goal kick. And again, some pursuit and some pressure from the Great Danes, who in that sequence there, Mike, held the ball for a good 70 seconds or so.
Yeah, I mean, possession-wise, they are just dominating in that part of the game, and have shown a nice intensity to start this second half as well, keeping the Bears back on their heels a little bit.
Pietsu and Wallef in close quarters. Rodrigo to the right of Pietsu, continues to take his space, puts it down to the corner. Rodrigo on his horse, chased by Gino Rossi, collects down by the end line, looking to take back to his left, serves it in front, headed away by Iafrate. And the Bears will have a corner, their second of the evening.
Really good work that time out of Dennis Pietsu, the freshman, kind of holding up, letting the play develop, letting Rodrigo make that run, and Rodrigo doing the rest, getting to the ball, and then able to earn the corner kick for the Bears. We'll see if they can cash in here. Still looking for the equalizer.
They play it quick to Howell. He curls it across off the back of the head of Welp. Sigurdarsson has it settled by Crane. Swings it out. It hits O'Brien. He might have been trying to get it out to Goebel. And Solabarrieta in transition, sprinting back all the way. It was Anderson and Welp. They miscommunicate. Swamley out to midfield for Wallef, and now Pietsu over to Howell, and now Goebel again. Bears have Wallef on the run. He gets behind the D. He's offside.
Yeah, I got behind the D because he was way behind the D.
Yeah, well played by De Silva. I saw Wallef starting his run, and then De Silva stopped. And you'll see it right here. He's on, and then he's off. It was just a well-timed step. A half a second earlier, he's on at the time of the pass. Put the ball down. Will Vitiello, the senior, came into today's game with a 1.73 goals against, about double what the Great Danes had a year ago. And outscored their opponents by a 2-1 margin. Sigurdarsson.
That looked right off his hand.
It sure did. Crutzen driving a shot up and over the top, but the second time we've seen a ball deflect off a wrist or a bicep and not get whistled.
Right, and it gave the Albany player a definite advantage, too.
For sure.
Letting him maintain possession, get it back to a teammate. Eventual shot from Crutzen, which did not miss by too much.
Be a throw in for the Bears. That's Jackson Goebel there to take it. Goebel, one of the Iron Men for this Brown back line. He played a ton of minutes a year ago, and I don't think he's left the field yet this season. The ball switched. Rodrigo chasing. It'll be pushed to Vitiello. Bouncing pass, and he'll send it skyward toward the midfield stripe. Howell's first ball will be settled by Phillip on the right flank, and the Great Danes pushing it ahead. Good ball for Solabarrieta. Welp has to send that away, and that's a corner kick. Great pressure by Solabarrieta.
And a slight hesitation by Welp at first. I think he thought Swamley might have been able to have a chance to get to it, but Swamley allowing that play to develop and having Welp cover it instead, leaving Welp with no chance but to hit it out.
Taking the corner kick for Albany is number 15, Daniel Crutzen.
9 minutes gone here, second half. Daniel Crutzen will take the corner for the Great Danes, who again attack right to left wearing the road purples here this afternoon. On the ground, Solabarrieta back out to Crutzen. He'll free back to Phillip. He's going to drive one toward the net and headed away by Crane. Here Crane yelling pull up as the Great Danes push all the way back to Vitiello. We'll see what he offers. Sending it up for Clark. It hangs up. Clark heads back for Crutzen, and on the right side, again, that's Solabarrieta with the wind picking up a little bit here at Stevenson-Pinsent. Kind of blowing in towards us now. If you want the wind to change, just wait a second here at this field. A little touch trying to get around Welp, but he's one of the best in the business, one of the best and steadiest center backs in the Ivy League. These teams had to train in some very hot conditions earlier this week. That one was out of bounds. Yep, the AR has it.
Yeah, not by much. Maybe just a hair there as Rossi sent it in towards Swamley.
Although I'm sure the Bears wouldn't have minded having Swamley put it back in play. Over the head of Wallef. Here comes Rodrigo. Ahead for Pietzu and off the side of Iafrate. Throw in for Wallef. Pietzu trying to chase, trying to put it under. As that one sent away by Vitiello, and Pietzu trying to lobby for the call against Malekos, but he's not going to get that.
Not going to get it, but certainly Malekos kind of holding him back as he tried to make his way in towards Vitiello.
O'Brien has a longer throw. He'll snap one, looking for Howell. Settled by Wallef. He tries to turn, was held up just a touch. And in transition, Sigurdarsson for Solabarrieta has Clark running down center. Crane trying to get in position. Shot it, scored! I was watching Crane on the shoulder of Clark the whole way back. Was never able to reset the one-timer in front. Clark, an easy service for the finish, and it's 2-0. You can see Crane on Clark in the center, and just couldn't get to him.
What a pass, though. Solabarrieta.
Brilliant.
Nifty little left-footed flick in the perfect spot, in stride, full speed ahead. Carlos Clark burying it, his third of the season. And Albany looking very much like the team we saw last season. And there's the little flick. Crane just unable to keep up with Clark. And it took a perfect pass from Solabarrieta to get around Welp. And all of a sudden, the Bears is in some serious trouble now.
Well, we've said in the past, 2-0, the most dangerous lead, because the next goal can make all the difference. But if the Bears don't answer quickly, they could be on the way to their first defeat of the season, trailing here 2-0. That one snapped in. Wallef dropped down, and Howell couldn't get there. And you go back to that great finish, great save, by Vitiello in that first half, which would have been the equalizer. The Bears had a couple of chances, one from the head of Danny Schiller and one from the head of Derek Wallef, and have been held off the board besides. Pietzu back for Howell. Bears trying to dance through Howell as plays it ahead for Wallef. Iafrate shows two, puts it through. Here comes Rodrigo. Rodrigo the touch, and Vitiello able to slide through, and you're seeing why he is one of the best tenders in the America East.
Yeah, what a great ball through that time for Rodrigo. Just couldn't quite catch up with it to get a good touch. Vitiello, though, another fantastic play coming well off his line to deflect it away from Rodrigo.
He's a gamer. You could tell the experience between the pipes for the senior. A redshirt senior at that. Big throw in coming from O'Brien. Well read by Crutzen. And the Belgian pushes out towards center. Crane there. Coming back to the ball comes Clark. Crane looking to switch fields. Met by immediately Sigurdarsson. Again, the Great Danes, such quick decision making here today. Out across center, Jackson Goebel heads it to Wallach. He's going to be met by Crutzen. Bears trailing 2-0, 12th minute of the second half, 10th minute of the first. The 2 goals for the Great Danes. Wallach on the left side. Or Goebel, who's looking to serve it perhaps. He'll continue to take his space on the far flank. Back for Howell. He's got nowhere to go. Joseph Lee will look to switch fields. Does so using O'Brien. As Rodrigo to his right. Puts it in. Vidiello holding back and gobbles it up for what will go in the books as a save, I'm sure.
Yeah, positionally, he's been playing so well here so far this afternoon. Tracking that one all the way, backpedaling, able to scoop it out of the air.
10, 11, 12.
Punted away by Vidiello. Pietsu might have been coming from an offside position, but Iafrate was back. He'll settle. Juggles around Anderson. Over the head of Joseph Lee. And right to left comes Sigurdarsson. Clark off to the races again. Great ball. Welp trying to pick him up. Little heel pass. Can Goebel get there? He cannot. Phillip back out for Clark. And the play for De Silva. Again, 8, 10, 12, 14 passes a sequence for the Great Danes, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, each one of these guys can handle the ball, take their time. They are making very good decisions. And again, the all-ball movement has been phenomenal for Albany today.
First time the Bears have given up more than 1 goal since a 2-1 loss in overtime at Providence College last October 11th. Again, a very stout back line, typical for the Bears, who a season ago only gave up more than 1 on 2 occasions. The 2 goals they gave up to Providence and a 3-0 loss to Columbia. Other than that, Bears had a couple 1-0 losses last year, but for the most part were a very tough out.
Well, and that's definitely been one of the hallmarks of Brown soccer over the years, a stout defensive line, good goaltending. You know, this year, Coach Laughlin working in 2 freshmen and 1 sophomore for his goalkeeping core. So far, it's been the freshman James Swamley getting all of the minutes. 4th corner kick of the afternoon now for the Great Danes.
Bears also have been a very tough out here at home. They went 6-1-1 here at home and are already 2-0 here at home this season as the outswinger off the head of Clark, who's been a very dangerous target for the purple, white, and yellow. And it'll be a goal kick here as we're a third of the way through half number 2. Albany leading 2-0 on goals by Daniel Crutzen and Carlos Clark, the 2 seniors tickling the twine here in this one. Goals separated by about a half of soccer, give or take. The 10th and 12th minute of the first and second halves, respectively. Jackson Goebel carrying on the left side for the Bears. Had Howell making a run, but Howell had to put on his brakes with the defensive line holding. The give and go back to Goebel. Plays to center. Wallach couldn't get there. Anderson, middle of the field, has Solabarrieta coming behind him. Distributed it to nobody, really, and Welp will touch for O'Brien. Bears pressing. Here's O'Brien working up the right side. A good touch for Rodrigo near side of the box. Looks to his left. Swings it across. Is Crutzen able to stop ball? Again, the Bears seeming a little flat-footed as they trail by a pair. Throw in by O'Brien. Looking for Pietsu. Crutzen just sends it away. Here comes Goebel. Puts on the brakes. Takes the ball from Sigurdarsson. Comes back to Rodrigo. Ahead for Joseph Lee on the right side. He curls it towards center. The ball touched and gobbled up by Vidiello with Pietsu getting a foot on it.
Yeah, Pietsu doing a nice job of working himself into the 18, getting himself a chance to at least get a touch on that. But Vidiello, nice job once again to cut that offensive chance short.
Pietsu, 6'3", a first year out of Dawsonville, Georgia. Ball swung out to the right side, chested down. Sigurdarsson back for Devine, and that's going to be an offside position for Sam Phillip.
Pretty much every Brown reserve up and moving right now. We'll see who Coach Laughlin goes to the bench and get into the match.
If you're available to Pat Laughlin today, you're warming up right now, including the goaltenders.
Yeah, Bears going to need some kind of spark from one of their reserves to come in and help change the complexion of this one a little bit.
Toby Howell, Dennis Pietzu, and that ball sent upfield, settled by Crane. Clark was able to get the best of in terms of positioning for that second goal. Goebel lobbing it out toward midfield. The Great Danes have 6 back, however. Wallach trying to put Crutzen under, but Iafrate there for the Great Danes. He's calling out, saying, hey, somebody come to me. And he is very unhappy. Wallach trying to measure it up. Devine able to turn. It comes back to Crutzen. Out ahead for Clark. He's marked there by Welp. Again, no foul. It's been a pretty clean match all around. Side the card on Crane, which was a fair one. Howell is it stripped by Crutzen, by Pietzu rather. That one hit the referee, but he was coming back to call a foul. And
yeah, it was Malikos taking down Howell as Howell tried to split the defense. They're going to stop the clock for a moment as well.
Well, Pietzu grabbed the ball out of Vidiello's hands, and now the referee saying to Vidiello. And I think Vidiello legitimately did not hear the whistle. I mean, it was hard to hear from up here.
I heard it.
I did not.
I think it's one of those cases where, little gamesmanship on Vidiello's part. Yeah.
See what you can get.
You see it all the time. Guys are going to hold the ball.
Absolutely.
Pietzu well within his right to get the ball back for his team. The extended 10 yards, no magic spray.
No, not necessary. Well, now here comes Solabarrieta.
That's where it's like, okay, that.
And there's the whistle. Howell drives a shot, and Vidiello, the save.
Yeah, again, Vidiello definitely on his game here this afternoon. He's made the easy saves. He's made the tough ones. And right now he's got the clean sheet.
The turn by Solabarrieta. Carries through center, off to the right side for Sam Phillip. Nico Solabarrieta turned over as Jackson Goebel comes away with it. Out to Pietzu. He keeps it moving. Howell on the left side and slid away by a well play by Caio da Silva. John Vrablik will check on for Dennis Pietzu here with about 20 minutes gone in the second half.
Some really good minutes out of Pietzu. I thought he was kind of a danger man out there for the Bears. Had a couple of chances, but some good defensive plays and some nice goalkeeping from Vidiello, keeping him off the score sheet.
The 1-2, Howell, frustration aplenty. You can hear from his yelp. That I heard. Big throw by Da Silva finds Crutzen. Ooh, big kick. O'Brien for Lee, and now Crane. As the Bears get Daniel Schiller, who played the full 45 in the first half, ready to check back on. Goebel taking his space over for Howell as the Bears continue to work the attack off that top. That one settled by Iafrate. Here comes Anderson, a tough touch. Rodrigo trying to feed it through for Vrablik. Wallach doesn't have anywhere to go. Double teamed, and Iafrate sends it away. Wonder what the Bears will do trailing by 2, see if they start maybe taking a few more attacking chances, particularly with the guys like Howell, Wallach, and Rodrigo. With Daniel Schiller coming back in, I would think he'll be replacing Howell in all likelihood, unless they move Rodrigo to the interior and take Wallach out, which would not be unheard of.
Yep, certainly going to be some opportunities to mix things up for Coach Laughlin, and
or
he'll
Anderson
have some decisions to make.
Here comes O'Brien, chips it ahead, one to that corner of death. Iafrate there, Vrablik chasing, ball stuck by Wallach, pushes it to Rodrigo. Rodrigo was moving away from the ball, and Iafrate just got in front of it. Solabarrieta comes away with it and squares it off right side for Sam Phillip. He'll work right to left for the Great Danes as we are nearing the midpoint of the second half. Good ball ahead for Clark. He won't catch up to it, and the goal kick will allow subs to check in. It'll be Schiller for the Bears. For the Great Danes, Brandon Mimas will check in. So it is Derek Wallach who heads to the sideline, and that will push Howell to the near flank, Schiller to the far flank, and Rodrigo to the interior of the midfield, as presumed earlier.
See if Howell can have any success on this near side. He's been stuck on that far side throughout this half. Had some tough touches and some tough battles.
And this is a little bit of a slow jog on the substitution. I'm all for gamesmanship.
That's nice of you to call it a jog.
He was trotting a second ago, was Clark.
I mean, he's had a phenomenal game, though. He has definitely been
you talk about
handful
danger.
for the Bears.
Use the word danger, man. I think that's the textbook definition.
A big frame out there, going full tilt, showing some serious skills, and, of course, netting the insurance goal at this point.
Schiller sprinting through, but Vitiello will pick it up. Fresh legs from Schiller for sure, as Vrablic's header needed to be a little bit wider. Where he'll distribute Vitiello out to the far flank. Kept in? No, he's on the far sideline as Phillips. He's already out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like he was backing over that touchline.
Should say Phillip, not Phillips. Checking to the ball is Rodrigo. It's thrown in by Goebel for Schiller. Bears will need some late-game heroics here, trailing by a pair. They've played identical 2-1 results to start the season, have been on the right side of it. Surrendered 2 goals for the first time in a season, first time in a game in a long time.
Both of those games featuring late-game heroics, as you just talked about. The Bears needing 2 in the final 8 minutes to beat Bryant in their opener, and then, of course, needing the overtime game winner on Friday night from Rodrigo to knock off GW.
Tossed in. Howell for O'Brien. Has a couple of men closing in on him. Centers for Lee. Lee for Welp. He'll switch fields. Crane stepping up in front of it. Chips it ahead, and Vitiello gobbles it up. So we are now past the midpoint of half number 2, well past the midpoint. It turned over in a good spot for the Bears. Rodrigo for Toby Howell. Looks to cut back on Iafrate, and Iafrate just held him too long. Howell, indecisive, I think is a good word to use there, Mike.
Yeah, I tried inside, outside again, and, credit Iafrate. Didn't move an inch. Stuck right with him.
Iafrate has been solid, has been under pressure quite a bit. Left side, Goebel working upfield. Has Schiller to his left. Vrablic shows to him. Cutting back is Vrablic. Drives a shot, and Vitiello the save.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Had a little bit of space to work with. The defense kind of going away from Vrablic that time towards the top of the box. But again, Vitiello all over it.
10, 11, 12, 13.
Ball driven upfield. Turned on the right side by Sigurdarsson. A lot of changes waiting at the midfield stripe to check in at the scores table as it's worked upfield. The drop pass back. He's had this range already. Crutzen closed up there, did Lee. Touch back for Gino Rossi, who's been quiet in the second half. Haven't called his name a lot. And goes back to Iafrate. Iafrate ahead for Sigurdarsson. Back to Rossi, who surveys the scene. And again, these game of keep away continues from the purple and white. And back is Shane Devine. Great Danes seem very content to make the Bears chase the game, Mike.
Oh, and why not? You got the 2-0 lead. Bears haven't really shown too much on offense here so far this afternoon. And let's face it, Albany has the skill, the touch, the confidence to just knock it around. They go all the way up, run it all the way back, and now they're back in the midfield. So they can really do whatever they want with it at this point.
And they're a team that has learned how to win for sure. 27 wins between the last 2 seasons. And after all that, a corner kick. Subs checking in. Nicholas Perez for the Bears. He will replace Joseph Lee for Albany. Hugo Guerra and Reed Conde will check in. And off comes Nico Solabarrieta. And I want to say, coming off on that far side was Sam Phillip. He's walking, doing the long walk behind the goal. You can't see him anymore off the left side of your screen. Corner from the far side for the Great Danes with 18 to play, leading by a pair. Headed through, almost leading by 3. What a great turn in front for Adam Malakos.
And again, no one really sticking with Malakos that time. Almost a free header inside the 18. Just unable to direct it in on net.
Malakos from Ottawa. Albany with also a couple of players. We've seen players from almost every country represented on their roster except Cyprus. They have 2 players from Cyprus on the roster, and we have not seen either one of them yet. No, 3 of them, I'm sorry. And foul on the Bears as Iafrade went down. The 3 Cyprus natives are Panagiotis Andreou, Andreas Asiotis, and Konstantinos Louvaris. A lot of vowels on this Great Dane squad. This
is the all pronunciation team, by the way. Nice job by their SIT to get us.
Absolutely. Give them credit where credit is due.
All the names.
Vrablik was off, and it'll run to Vidiello, who jumps over the ball. And that went out of bounds at 16:40. We'll see how long it takes for them to put it back into play. It's been consistently about 25 or 30 seconds. Pat Laughlin asking the AR how long they'll let this go on. Precious seconds. That one picked up by Perez. Pushes it ahead to Zach Anderson. Perez cuts back for Welp. Pushes it ahead for Vrablik. He's fouled by Iafrade. No advantage. Iafrade with his arms extended saying...
It was the reverse Iafrade that time.
And now they're going to stop the clock.
Well, they're kicking the ball afterwards. A little bit of mouthiness, I think, out of some of the Great Danes there.
Guerra standing right in front of the ball. There's the foul.
Came in high in the back of Vrablik, and I think what it was the delay of Vrablik to fall to the turf that really drew the ire of the Great Danes. But either way, it was a foul.
He is 6'4". Takes a little longer to fall down. Play will restart with Crane sending it towards center, and the header by Welp just over the woodwork. Oh, they'll say it was off of a purple jersey. I don't know.
If you thought Albany was upset before, but now the goalkeeper throwing the ball the other way too.
Here's the restart, and let's see.
That seemed to be off of Welp, unless they're going to say he touched it at the last second. No, he definitely
did not. That should have been a goal kick.
Yep.
Schiller, the corner kick. Howell with the settle. Cuts back towards center. Drives a shot. Guerra the stop. Headed down and set upfield by Brandon Mimas for Guerra. Crane working back to his right. Guerra continuing to work against Schiller, who stops ball through the double team and ahead for Howell. It comes from Crane. Looks to switch fields. Open on the far flank is Jackson Goebel. Gets around Conde. Tough touch, however. Finally clears out to the near side. O'Brien steps up. Anderson, middle of the pitch, under 15 to play. Bears now really running out of time, in fact. Looking for some late-game heroics. And that one played for Vrablik. They're looking for offside, but I think in that case, Vrablik was in fact on.
Yeah, certainly towing that line once again, very close.
Vrablik back, Schiller putting it across into the hands of Vidiello. Needed to be out wider for Howell, the right idea, but into the hands of the Albany goaltender.
Yeah, easy pickings for Vidiello that time.
And the Great Danes with their upset of Maryland in the first half against the Terrapins in the first round of the national tournament last year, where I believe outshot 16-5, took scoreless through double overtime and won the game in PKs. It was and then a tough out in the second round to Western Michigan, who had a bye. Vrablik's going to hot foot after it, and it will kick wide for a goal kick. Again, Vidiello taking his time. And
No, went out about 13:45.
So about 25 seconds, give or take, 20 to 25 seconds. It takes for O'Brien, win the 50-50 ball. Vrablik in the middle, centers for Anderson, and turned away by Malikos. Up goes Welp, second ball, headed down by the Great Danes. Guerra can't keep it alive. O'Brien will take the throw. Again looking for Vrablik, good step by Iafrate. Near side, Guerra, picked up by O'Brien. Guerra touches back. Rossi off the foot of Howell, and Malikos pushes it ahead. Crane put under by Mimas, gets it over to the left side for Goebel. Goebel resetting after a difficult first touch, working around Sigurdarsson. And again, a tough sequence there, the Bears turning it over.
That's kind of been the story for the Bears today. They just haven't been able to really string together more than 2 or 3 passes at a time. Kind of an unforced error that time, unfortunately, for the Bears, who just really need to find something going the right direction here offensively. Down to about 12 minutes left.
Listed as having 6 shots on goal, so 6 saves for Danny Vitiello. He's played a solid game between the pipes. O'Brien against Guerra. Sends it ahead for Rodrigo, and that is out of bounds. Again, you wonder when the Bears might make some change to the formation as well. I mean, they've been in a more attacking posture, but you wonder if they maybe sell out a midfielder or a back at some point. I mean, hard to tell.
Well, a couple of guys coming to the table now. Trio, in fact. Looks like Wallif, Malcolm Johnson, and Mims getting set to check back in. Perhaps they pull, I don't know, maybe O'Brien out and just have Crane, Welp, and Goebel as the backs. Maybe Anderson comes out as well.
Nice touch to the corner. Crutzen waiting. Great patience from the Great Danes. Guerra trying to split. And that one's going to sail in on Swamley, who's not had to be too busy here in the second half, but a lot of play between the 18s that the Great Danes have occupied in terms of possession. That one knocked back up by Malikos. Anderson heading it through. Vrablik trying to run through. Rossi settled by Rodrigo in the midfield. Squares it off left side for Jackson Goebel. He'll work left to right around Sigurdarsson. This time connects with Schiller. Schiller dancing back towards center. Gets to the top of the 18. Drops it back for Rodrigo. The first touch forced out to Goebel again. The Bears continuing to work off the flank. Nice stick. Kept alive, and Sigurdarsson aways it.
And again, that whole sequence, only 4 passes connected by the Bears.
The turn. Crutzen stripped by Crane. Trying to send it through. Howell there. Settles at the top of the 18. Frees himself up. Turns. Shot blocked by Malikos. Perez on the loose ball. He drives a shot again. Malikos scissor kicks at it. Schiller taken away again by Malikos, who not once, not twice, but third time's the charm resets the back line for the Great Danes.
Malikos feeling it out there defensively.
That was a great
shot blocking machine.
The Bears switching fields. It doesn't get across all the way to Goebel. Turned away. The Bears with 11 total shots, not counting those that have just been blocked. Playing on the ground is Sigurdarsson, and that'll be a dangerous play and a restart coming for Brown.
Sigurdarsson saying, oh, wait, I can't play it down like that? Ref saying, nope. Gives the Bears a pretty good opportunity here to take one last look at Haflidi Sigurdarsson trying to break free of Perez.
He was playing the ball while seated on the turf. Played up by Crane. Up goes Welp. It turns to O'Brien. He settles. Chipped in. Deflected. Howell goes up. Almost landed on Welp. Vrablik to Rodrigo. Bouncing shot. Blocked again. Not by Malikos, however. By, I want to say, Rossi. Left side. Set ahead. Here comes Howell. Chipped in front, and Vitiello the save, but that looked like a hit an arm.
Yeah, it certainly came up high on the shoulder arm area of the Albany defender that time. Friday having another conversation with the official as well. The Bears simply running out of time here.
They've played much better in the last 10 or 12 minutes or so. Certainly have our attention has been shifted toward our right as the Bears attack that direction this half.
Well, the Bears still looking to make those changes to perhaps change their formation as well. They've been sitting at the table now for a good 3 minutes or more.
Rodrigo juggles in the midfield, cutting through, lost the handle. Malikos there. It's been amazing that the ball has stayed between the stripes all this time. Guerra on the left side, picked up by O'Brien. Cuts back to his left, doing a good job of containing his O'Brien. Centers it for Crutzen. Ball pushed ahead, but that's offsides on Sigurdarsson. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a card. Yeah, I mean, that was way too long, especially after I'm sure they exchanged a couple of words before when Sigurdarsson was playing on the ground with it.
Now with the stoppage with the card, Sigurdarsson goes into the books. 7:48, we'll get another look, and you can see he's offsides when he gets
Whistle
that
was
ball.
blown, and you can't do that.
No.
Hockey, there'd be a fight, but unfortunately this is not hockey.
Tough turn by Vrablik. O'Brien on the loose ball. And again, the Bears have had now for about 4 minutes, since about the 11-minute mark, 3 men waiting to check in. Goebel on the left side for Schiller. Schiller looks to take to the end line, curls it across and into the midst of Vitiello. Again, positionally has been so strong.
Yeah, if Schiller could have just got that one maybe 6 inches higher, had a couple of runners on the backside, and Howell and O'Brien might have had a chance to get one.
Big punt from Vitiello's on that right flank. Pushed ahead by Sigurdarsson. He gets it back. Comes from behind, does Perez, and ahead for Rodrigo. Looking to the flank for Toby Howell. Good touch to clear to settle. Drives a shot in and saved again by Vitiello.
Yeah, and he read that one perfectly all the way. He saw that Howell really only had a chance to try to slip it in that far post. Anticipated that and made his way over to his right
for
to
his
make the
seventh save of the day. But beyond that, has done a nice job of just having a good field presence. Rodrigo trying to dance through, ball stuck that time by De Silva. Middle of the field, read well by Anderson. He'll distribute out to Schiller on the left side. Bears working the attack up the flank, cuts back. Rodrigo's shot off De Silva. Howell looking to juggle back to his right, and Guerra sends it away. De Silva caught that one flush in the chest. You sometimes wonder again if an arm comes up, but not the case. And again, the Bears still unable to make the change.
Well, and Albany has a sub up there too, so if the ball goes out any sideline or end line, they'll get to make those changes. But it's been in play now for a good 7 or 8 minutes. Not more.
Guerra on the near flank, back for Rossi. Turns to Crutzen, whose goal could stand to be the game winner. O'Brien the stick, but the ball to Rossi's foot, and all the way back to Malikos, who blocked a series of shots a few minutes ago. Vitiello sends that one away on that far sideline. One in the air for Schiller from Goebel. Goebel on the reset for Anderson. Pops it up and over the top. And that one is going to run down toward the end line. Here comes Schiller. That one's still in. Kept alive. Here comes Vrablik. Cutting back toward center. Drives a shot up and over the top. And we will finally get those changes as Schiller, what hustle play, as De Silva just couldn't get it out of bounds. O'Brien off. Derek Wolof, Malcolm Johnson come on. John Vrablik off. And Will Crane will check off for Mims.
So let's see if we notice any formational change now for the Bears.
Definitely. They're going to 3 backs with Welp in the middle, Mims on the right, Goebel on the left. And it looks like it's Howell, Johnson, Rodrigo, Schiller, and Wolof. So maybe an extra midfielder more than an extra attacker as it comes ahead for Howell, trying to feed Wolof, but Clark there. Clark playing in a central midfield position since he just checked back in. Perez the strip, ahead for Wolof. Wolof coming back to the right side for Johnson. Johnson working on the right flank, curls one in front. Tough touch. Schiller alone. The shot and the score! Danny Schiller finds the back of the net, and the Bears are on the board. It's 2-1.
Again, great ball movement by the Bears on the near side. Malcolm Johnson getting his first career point. A brilliant strike into the middle of the box. Miscommunication by two Albany defenders, and Schiller there to clean it up. His third goal of the season to give the Bears new life with 4.5 left to play. Things getting interesting here in Providence.
Well, so far, Mike, one thing we can certainly say is that Danny Schiller has found himself Johnny on the spot on more than one occasion. He's been opportunistic. He's been patient. He's found a way to finish. Back again. Oh, my goodness. They're going to call a foul on Toby Howell as he and De Silva collided. And Howell is down, Mike.
Yeah, he went down very awkwardly, got tangled up in the back there with
Watch
De Silva.
this. It's definitely a foul on Howell. It's just the way Howell landed. It looks like it's a cramp, fortunately.
I hope that that's all it is.
Yeah, he was grabbing the back of his right calf, and Zach Anderson stretching him out. Oof. Oh, my goodness. What a collision.
Yeah, well, it was a poor touch at first by Albany, and Howell able to get himself in a spot to try to make a play on it. Do the Bears have enough left in the tank again?
Well, chasing the game is hard work. Pat Laughlin has used that term with us in the past. And again, you go back to a couple of those saves by Vidiello, and that one skips wide.
Yeah, Crutzen not shy about firing it in from outside the box. There's got to be careful. 2 balls on the field now.
Swamley.
Yeah, Swamley's got to hurry up here.
Down to about 3.5 to play. An 86th minute goal from Daniel Schiller. 3 goals in as many matches. That one up the far flank. Solabarrieta is onside. Welp will try and cut down the angle. Cutting back, Solabarrieta works to his left. Centering pass blocked by Welp. Solabarrieta still working. Mims comes away with it. Rossi stepping back, finds Clark. And this is where the Great Danes have been so good today.
Now they're going to hammer it around to the far side again. Coble wins it in the air, though. Nice job.
Anderson, a tough touch. Can Schiller keep it alive? Well leveraged on that far flank and set back in by Conde. Tough first touch. Perez trying to get back to the ball, and Crutzen will slow things down. All the way back to Iafrate. Checking to him comes Howell, who seems none worse for the wear, and he sends it upfield. Iafrate frustrated as Swamley will put it on a line, give it right back
right off the arm.
Right off the forearm of Clark.
Right in front of the ref, too.
Yeah, he waves it off. And that runs up off of Solabarrieta, stays on the field, allegedly. Mims with a touch, and that's going to be a corner kick.
All right, so the ball went out at 2:18.
Oh, 40 seconds, Mike. There's no question in my mind this will take 40 seconds.
Stop the clock!
Two minutes.
Already 20 seconds gone by since it crossed the end line.
It was quick because they're going to pin to the corner. We saw this backfire earlier today in the women's game. They started the pin play at about 3 minutes. That's going to be a Brown throw. Mims has a long-ish throw. Clark, or rather Iafrate, lining up is Mims with one header. Second ball, Rossi to the corner. Bears are going to struggle to get organized out of their own end, and that's going to be a throw-in for the Great Danes. The Bears running out of time here with under 90 seconds. Could be the third straight 2-1 game to start this 2018 campaign. Perez for Johnson. The referee says, let's keep playing. Of course, Johnson sends it out. Malakos there. Plays it to Clark, who's been a force to be reckoned with. A touch there by Rossi, and one of the Great Danes is down, and their clock will stop for Solabarrieta, I believe, in the corner. Head in hands. He is in agony, Mike.
Or just tired. One or the other.
Well,
he's been running all over this field today. Certainly emptying the tank.
It's a miracle!
He's walking it off okay. None worse for the wear, apparently.
Gives a nice flash of the smile there to the fans.
Coach Gorman checking things out here. Trying a weekend split here are the Great Danes after losing to Providence. Toby Howell pushed down by Iafrate.
Jeez.
They're going to let him play, apparently. Look at that. Solabarrieta up to full speed pretty quickly as Perez.
I mean, come on.
And that they'll blow dead, and Perez not
exactly.
happy.
Bears had the advantage. And now, I mean, come on.
And now Solabarrieta, I think, is going in the books. Yeah. He can't believe it, but that's the third time he's delayed play in the last 20 or 30 seconds.
Yeah, mark that one down. Yellow card, Solabarrieta, shenanigans.
The Bears bringing everybody up. 48 seconds left. Swamley will put it back into play from his left. Over for Jackson Goebel. Goebel for Perez. Perez swinging it up. Anderson ahead to the near side. Malcolm Johnson turns the chip. Headed up. Derek Wallif, the chopping shot into the hands of Vidiello. And we've only got a half minute left. That might do it. I don't know how much time they'll let Vidiello take here, but he's been pretty consistent, 15 to 20 seconds. He swings a punt out to the far flank, and it'll be settled in the midfield, turned upfield, and sent down. Welp gobbles it up, under 10 seconds left. Swamley sends it across midfield. Bears running out of time. Second ball to Rossi, and the Great Danes will head home, sending the Brown Bears to their first defeat of the season with a 2-1 victory.
Yeah, the Bears, playing with fire at the end of this game, but just couldn't get enough good opportunities on the offensive end today, or at least unable to cash in on them as they fall to Albany 2-1 in the first ever meeting between these two schools in men's soccer action.
It was a pretty entertaining game, and we'll head to our post-game show, taking a look at some of the numbers. There's your final again with Albany, a 2-1 victory.
Yeah, the scoring started off back in the